What's up, guys? Spacelord here, bringing you my very first community video. So I never made one of these before, and you might be wondering, what the hell is a community video? Well, the idea is that, first of all, it's kind of a patron reward, so it's something where I interact with ideas and questions that patrons bring up, things they want me to talk about. I prefer making videos when people ask me things and want my opinion on something, because then I can kind of speak to everyone instead of just, making a little text response that one person would read. So that's part of it. Also, it's sort of just an easy way for me to kind of update everyone and kind of say what's going on. I have no idea how long these are going to be, really. We'll have to see. Also, it's kind of a way for me to sort of just have an information update, kind of like talk about some of the things that's going on with me. Maybe sort of some things I'm planning or whatever, because, otherwise if I throw it into a video, if you don't see that video, you won't get that information. If I post a lot of things on Twitter, but I realize that most people don't use Twitter and Facebook and all that, but I'm going to kind of get back to that in a minute. But yeah, it's just sort of a way for me to interact and talk to my fans, and also maybe look at some comments. I get some crazy comments, so we'll see. I'm switching it up a little tonight. Just FYI, I'm not drinking the rum. I decided to go with some beer, and I'm drinking some Miller High Life. It's the champagne of beers, apparently. I mean, established 1903, so must be good. So I'll be drinking that while I'm making this wonderful video for you guys. So first of all, a few things going on with me. I guess one of the biggest things is that I've been perma-banned off of Twitch. In case you haven't heard, it happened a while back. It was kind of complete BS. I had a good number of people too when it happened that were in the stream. So, a decent number of people know. There was, there was over 100. There was about around 100 or so people that were watching the stream. And it was really strange. So this was my third time of getting banned, and as I understand it, for Twitch, the third time you get banned, it's a permanent ban. Unless you're Legendary Leah, then you can just show your vagina, and that's okay. The first time I got banned was Taco's fault, because he said, "Try out Honeycam Studio, it will be hilarious." It was actually a really terrible game. You just sort of clicked on, like, fashion boutiques. Like, you in theory, like, what the game was about is you got cam girls, but, like, there wasn't anything too sexual. Like, you never saw any nudity, or there was never actually any talk about sex. Everything was kind of implied. But someone told me the reason why the game is actually a no-no is because the girls can buy cocaine, and so apparently that's an issue. So anyway, Taco told me to play that game, and I did, and they banned me. They gave me a 24-hour ban for that, and then I'm like, oh, actually you guys have banned games. I didn't think this little cartoon game would get me banned, but it did. The second time I got banned was whenever I was raiding somebody else's stream, and so they gave me a 24-hour ban for that, which I sort of understand. I get it. I wasn't too mad about that, kind of saw that one coming. So then after that second ban, I said to myself, all right, I'm gonna chill out. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna stream on Twitch anymore, but I figured, I'm gonna chill out, just play some games. And so it was me and Taco and Rev. We were like, hell with it. Let's just play some World of Warcraft and screw around in that, because we used to play. Probably was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. It's been forever. We used to play. And so we went ahead and we were playing, and we were just running some instances and killing some stuff, and just kind of fucking around. And we were trying to get Rev leveled up a little bit, because he was a little behind our level. And we're just in the middle of running the game, and bam, I get a permaban dropped on me. So They apparently have a process where you can write to Twitch and say, hey, you know, like you appeal it or you get further information. And I did that, never responded to me. So I think it's pretty clear, to me at least, unless any other information happens, and I don't expect it to, that Twitch just doesn't like me, especially after the Gamer Girl videos, the Gross Score video, basically exposing their bullshit. The truth is, Twitch is a very, very corrupt company in terms of how they operate. And normally I'm pretty open. I'm pretty free with how companies want to do things. You know, my opinion is, well, you know, companies, it's their choice. It's their choice. Like, for example, YouTube has censored some people recently, and I want to talk about that in a video, so I won't get into it. But, you know, people are talking about free speech or whatever. I don't agree with their decision, but, you know, it's their company. They can have those rules. And if they decide they don't want certain types of videos, that is, you know, that's their prerogative. But with Twitch, here's my problem with Twitch. It's not that they have certain rules or not have certain rules. It's that they don't really give a fuck about their rules, right? They don't. That's just a smokescreen, because there are people that are in, you know, certain cliques, and that are buddies, and those people, they don't have to follow the rules. And then other people who aren't even breaking the rules, like me, simply playing World of Warcraft, get permabanned, because because it's bad PR for them. So don't expect to see me on Twitch anymore. I was really getting kind of annoyed with them anyway, and I was really not wanting to be there anymore, you know, to even generate what few views I got from my live streams, which is not much, and I'm okay with that, because I'm more concerned about my YouTube videos. My YouTube videos I make, and you know, I try to make good videos, but my live streams, I'm just dicking around. You know, it's just a place where, you know, people who like my videos can come and, you know, just say what's up, and you can actually chat in real time. So as of right now, I plan on trying to live stream over on Hitbox, and we'll see how that goes. I've really been debating between Hitbox and YouTube. I don't know. I'm going to try Hitbox. I'm going to check it out. We'll see how it goes. The problem is they don't have the deal that Twitch does, where you get the automatic notification on the video. Like if you're like the way Twitch has it, they have a plug-in. So if somebody comes and they watch one of my videos while I'm on Twitch, they'll get a little pop-up and they'll say, hey, Spacelord is live, you can go check it out. So Hitbox doesn't have that, but I don't know if that's really a problem, because, you know, it's this kind of the same circle of people. You know, I kind of recognize similar names a lot, and, you know, if anybody really cares about seeing me live stream, you know, I mean, they'll figure it out. I need to update links and stuff, but I'll try that. My main reason with YouTube, like, it would be better in terms of live streaming on YouTube, because then all my shit would be in one spot, one place. The YouTube chat functionality is really crap. It's really hard to set up a place where people can donate for live streams, which sucks for streamers as well. I don't know if they're ever going to get that shit straightened out. They need to just get an IRC chat and a setup like Hitbox and Twitch, because it works. You know, it works. So we'll see. We'll see. That's where I'm at right now, because I know a lot of people, you know, I do read comments, guys. I don't, you know, like, I get a shit ton of comments, but I do read them. And I know a lot of people are like, hey, you know, what's going on? Your Twitch is banned or whatever. So yeah, Twitch is done. I still need to, you know, delete all the links off all my things or whatever. But yeah, I'm done off of Twitch. Well, at least as far as streaming is concerned. I mean, I'm still probably at some point gonna, you know, I have a second account, and I just, you know, go on there and record shit for videos or whatever I want to do, but that's a different story. Other than that, after my last new Patreon video, I got a lot of new patrons, and so that's very cool. And I just want to give everyone a shout out, everyone that, you know, came and is patronizing me. That usually is not a good thing when somebody's patronizing you, but in this case, I definitely appreciate it, and I'm actually kind of creeping towards my first goal, which is to hit $300, in which case I'm gonna do my best to do a 24-hour live stream for charity, which sounds really cool and really horrible at the same time. So we'll we'll see how that goes. I'm getting pretty close, so if I hit that mark, I'll have to do it. All right, so I want to answer some patron questions and comments that came up. I had a couple, so let's get right to it. So one of the first ones I had was from Gabriel. I didn't think you'd actually want like your last name on here, so I kind of drunkenly scribbled on it. I think we're pretty good here. I can't read shit, so yeah. He says, so yeah, I have something to talk about in next community vid. I'm a sophomore right now, and I grew up learning there's homosexual and heterosexual. But now there's these Z, asexual, aromatic, transgender demi-queers. I like that's a nice phrase right there. Who act like they're special snowflakes, and it's so annoying. You know what I'm talking about, those trigger warning land whale motherfuckers. What do you think they want, and will this mentality of 1 billion sexual orientations stop? AKA LGBT. And then of course it's also like there's there's like a bunch more. I remember Rev and I looking at that in what was that, the fat appreciation or some shit, the one with the big fat person on the thumbnail. So yeah, and I dropped a comment to you on Patreon as well, so it deserves a whole video. It's something that honestly I have very clear opinions on, but I've kind of dreaded making a video on it. But I need to make a video on it. It's something that I am going to talk about a bit. I guess for the purposes of video, I would say the really short answer is sticking feathers up your ass doesn't make you a chicken, all right? I mean, sometimes I get really hammered and I think I'm like a fucking superhero, but then I sober up later. The problem with these people is they never sober up. You got people with genuine mental issues, and then you have a bunch of people enabling them. It's like as though, some guy's like, I'm a werewolf. And everyone's like, yeah, he identifies as a fucking werewolf. We need to respect that. He's a werewolf. Instead of saying, okay, this guy thinks he's a werewolf. He's obviously fucking balls crazy. Maybe he needs a little fucking medication or something. That's the really short answer. If you want to sneak, look up body dysmorphia. These are psychological disorders. But, nowadays politics controls psychology. So, future video topic. All right, next question is from Andrew, also last name scribbled out. Says, if you're going to tell us more about yourself, can you tell us what type of games you like to play and what systems you play on? Also, I've seen your fake gamer girls vids. How many real gamer girls have you run into? All right, so what type of games do I play? My favorite genre of games is strategy. I love both video games and, outside of electronic shit. I love strategy games, man. So, first of all, I used to be really into chess, so my brain just works in, strategic modes, and I also like, although it was only a few years ago, I really got into Go, which is sort of like, the Japanese version of chess or some shit, but it's a crazy game. It's really hard, too. But yeah, I like strategy games. In fact, the background game here, Stellaris, is a new game I've been playing. Really cool. It's got some issues that I could get into, but overall it's a really cool game. I like strategy games more so. I like 4X and I like Grand Strategy. I pretty much like anything put out by Paradox. They're my favorite developer. I really like Paradox games. They tend to be super, super well crafted, and much higher on the engine and the guts of it, rather than graphics. I don't really care about graphics much. I'm old, dude. I'm 37 years old. I grew up playing on an Atari and then an NES for years, and so they impressed me. So it doesn't take much to impress me in terms of graphics. I can play with shitty block graphics if the game is cool. In fact, one of my favorite games that a lot of you some of you may have heard of, but probably most of you have never played, is Dwarf Fortress, which is one of the most badass games ever with no graphics. It's literally ASCII graphics, but you can kind of import some shit in to make it manageable. But yeah, I mean, that game is just so involved and over the top. I've dropped so many hours in that. I really also loved the Total War series for most of it. I played, Shogun, the Medievals 1 and 2, the Rome. So I've played lots of those games. And of course, I spent a lot of time in StarCraft 2, I should say. I did play StarCraft 1 quite a bit. StarCraft 2 is really and honestly the only game that I got really serious about being competitive at. And I wasn't that great. I mean, this is not me trying to act tough or anything. I made it to Diamond. That was it. But I really, really wanted to be good at that game. And it was just, but the problem with real-time strategy is that you have to be really twitchy. You got to have fast hands and quick hand-eye reflexes, and those really go down as you age. And I'm really starting to make myself sound like I'm some really old decrepit fucker or something. I'm not, but I mean, even after 20s, like young 20s, like once you hit 23, like your hand-eye coordination starts to decline. And by the time you hit 30, you just are not as fast at twitchy kind of games as an 18-year-old or a 15-year-old. So honestly, that was my problem with StarCraft, is my brain could move faster than my hands. Like, I would have a lot of strategy and ideas about what I was trying to do, but I just couldn't spam fast enough and kind of keep track of things. But I still loved the game. And I love any kind of strategy games. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, and you said, I've seen your fake gamer girl vids. How many real gamer girls have you run into? Real gamer girl, how many have I run into, like, in real life? In real life, I've never known a female that I would call a gamer. And the terms get mixed around a little bit nowadays because, I don't know. I see a lot of bitches, they're like, yeah, I'm a gamer, and like they fucking play, like, shit on their phone. All right, yeah, like if you just play shit on your phone, you're not a gamer, okay? I'm sorry. Like, gamers do I play stuff on my phone as well, and phone games all suck. I really wish they could make some decent-ass games on the phone. But the only thing I really play on my phone is like chess and Go, because the games they make are shit. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them. But yeah, I don't know. I've met girls online. There's real gamer girls. And whatever, I don't know, but we all know that gaming is primarily a male thing, and that's okay. That's not a problem. Girls don't have to be gamers to impress anybody. If you are a girl and you're a gamer, that's okay too. It's just kind of whatever. It's mostly a male sport. I was thinking of wrestling is why I said that, but I was gonna say it's mostly a male activity in the same way like wrestling is mostly a male activity. Like a lot of college or like high schools and stuff, it's actually co-ed. It's actually open to boys or girls, and you just don't see a lot of girls that want to get out there on the mat, and that's okay. We've got this real problem nowadays where we think everything has to be equal and split down the middle, and we got 5 girls on the team, or five guys on the wrestling team, we need 5 girls. No, we don't. Girls don't want to. And, trying to pressure them and say, feminism tells you to be a wrestler is just bullshit. It's mind control bullshit. Let people do what they want. It's fine. It's fine. Guys like video games. Few girls do. There's lots and lots of things that girls like that most guys don't. Like romantic comedies. I don't fucking even understand how anybody enjoys those, but there you have it. Oh yeah, you also asked me what systems I play on. I only play on the PC, honestly. I can tell you every system I've had. I started with an Atari 2600, then I got a Nintendo Entertainment System, a Super Nintendo Entertainment System. After that, I actually got a weird system. I got the TurboGrafx 16. What did I have? And then like Nintendo 64, Genesis. The Genesis was earlier. PlayStation. And then PlayStation 2. And the PlayStation 2 was the last console that I got. And I got that a little bit after I got into PC gaming. And when I got the PlayStation 2, I remember thinking, you know, I really fucking like my computer games better. I can do more with my computer games. And by comparison, the PS2 games seemed more simplistic, less challenging mentally for me. So I never really looked back. I mean, I've played the consoles. I have buddies with, you know, the current gen consoles and stuff, but I'm really just not that interested because, you know, I look at the price tags and shit, you know, like $300 or whatever, and I think, you know, I could upgrade my computer, you know, get a new monitor, get a new graphics card, you know, whatever the case may be. I would much rather spend that money on my computer. So I'm PC Master Race pretty much all the way. The only thing that really has been gnawing at me lately is I'm a really huge fan of fucking Tekken. I'm not a big fighting game guy overall. I'm just a maniac about Tekken. I really love Tekken, and I play Heihachi. He's my main. But, you know, I've only got up to PlayStation 2 because they don't make the fucking game for the computer. I don't know why, but they don't. They make Street Fighter for computer, but not Tekken. And so I've really been thinking about buying a console. That way I could get some of the more recent Tekken games. But we'll see. If I did, I would probably stream it and stuff too. But we'll see. I don't know if that'll happen or not. Alright, that looks like that was it for the patron questions. It's not surprising. I just sort of like, this is a new thing. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Plus, I don't have that many patrons anyway. Hopefully that'll grow and I get more questions and stuff because I do like engaging with people. Alright, so now since I don't feel like ending my video yet, I thought it would be funny, interesting, or whatever, to read some random YouTube comments. This is something I've kind of wanted to do for a while, but I see all these fags doing like, you know, Joe reads mean comments and, you know, like I don't want to do that bullshit. It's so gimmicky and dumb. So it isn't about me reading dumb, you know, like mean comments. It's more like just picking out some comments and sort of like responding to them as a way, again, of just engaging with everyone at once. Sab Sarab says, 37 question. You sound like a pseudo cool 12-year-old. Well, fuck, I don't know where this lady's from, but, you know, around my parts, fucking 12-year-olds don't sound like this, like for real. Like, they're more like, you know, like fucking, you know, I can't even do it, you know, like they're kind of fucking high pitched, you know, their balls haven't dropped. So, I don't know. I think you ought to check the water and shit because, you know, I was reading that, like, they got the growth hormones in, like, the meat and in the water and shit. So, if you got, like, 12-year-olds walking around with, like, deep voices and shit, I don't know. That's a scary sign. I think you better check your shit. I don't know. That's kind of more of an issue on her end, really, than a critique, I believe. Anthony says, Falcon. I can tell you're from Canada. Falcon? Is that like something you release from your arm to go kill fucking gerbils? And I don't even know what you're on about. All right, next up we got Kevin R. Dude, is your picture like, is that like Clockwork Orange, the movie? That's a really good movie / movie. All right, anyway, you're rude as hell, as subtle as a brick to the head, and you're so correct it frightens me that none of these SJW idiots will ever listen to what you're actually saying because they can't get over the bluntness of it. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. The straight shooting of it all. Right about the time in the mid to early 90s when they started coddling children at schools by giving everyone trophies and discouraging competition is when these SJW morons were developing in their mindsets and we see what is wrought. A whole generation with a few notable exceptions of whiny spoiled brats who are now realizing they may actually have to control this country, and that is scary as hell. Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. You know, like, I really saw it begin with the whole deal, who the hell was that fucker? Like Dr. Spock or some bullshit? I don't even know what the guy looks like, but I've always heard about Dr. Spock. And I always pictured Spock from Star Trek, which just kind of made it kind of funny. He came out with all this shit, you know, he's like, you know, don't spank your kids, you know, you gotta be nice, don't say negative shit to them. You know, and we see what that gets, you know, we get, and yeah, the whole trophies for everyone, yeah. And you know, it's funny because this gets made fun of so much, right? Everybody a winner and everybody, you know, it's kind of okay at a very young age. At a very young age, I think it's all right. Like I'm talking about like 8-year-olds and 7-year-olds and 6-year-olds. It's like, hey, you show up, you play, have a ribbon or whatever. But other than that, after that point, yeah, I think competition in some form is very important. I have my kids in sports, and I'm pretty rough on them. I smack the hell out of my kids for being stupid, and I punish them and I discipline them. And I love them to death, and I'd murder anyone who, tried to harm them. And I think that sort of fierce discipline / love is what's needed. The problem is, the real problem, you are right, Kevin R., that, it is this coddling. But why is there this coddling? All right, that's what, we need to get into. And the reason why we have this coddling is the mass epidemic of single mothers. Right? And that's a whole mess. But the short version is single mothers don't raise kids well. They don't. They do a shitty job. All right? Single fathers often do a shitty job too, but that's not really a common situation. Strangely enough, my parents did get divorced when I was 6. And believe it or not, strangely enough, my dad ended up with full custody. I grew up with my father, and my dad was / is kind of a badass in terms of his mentality. Very, very old school, very red pill, very, doesn't take shit. He always says he's to the right of Attila the Hun. That was one of his favorite little jokes he made when people asked him his politics. He'd say, I'm slightly to the right of Attila the Hun. And so, yeah, that's the man I was raised by. So I never got coddled at all. My dad, I loved him growing up, but he was very cold. He was more like the general of the house. I'm actually a lot more warm towards my kids than he was. He never really hugged me or anything like that, but I still, I loved him to death growing up. And, I'm not saying you should treat your kids like shit. Trust me, I have 3 kids. I know how to raise kids. But, you need discipline. And you gotta grow up with discipline. You gotta know consequences, because here's the thing, like people that say, oh, don't be harsh to your kid. You're doing them a disservice, because they're going to go into the world and they're going to get fucked up. They're going to get like fucked up bad. Pain, and this can be physical pain, emotional pain, whatever, but discomfort and pain is the great instructor of nature, right? More than anything else. Nothing will teach you quicker than pain. I'll give you a couple examples. When I was very young, I don't know, like 5 or something, I was fucking around with a campfire, right? And I picked up a stick, and it was, still smoldering on one end. I didn't see it, and it was still smoldering. I was trying to fuck around with the fire, and I grabbed a red hot end, and it burned the fuck out of me. Never again, all right? That's over 30 years ago. Never again have I just sort of mindlessly stuck my hand in a fire. All it took was one time. I learned the lesson for the rest of my life. I'm good. That's physical pain, right? It works. I would much rather... so if my kid, right, if one of my little kids is playing around near a road and I tell him, get away from the road, get over here, and he doesn't listen, first of all, I'm going to whip his ass, all right? Oh, I know you're not supposed to spank, fuck you, I spank my kids, all right? Deal with it. So I'm going to whip his ass, and he's going to go, wah, it's going to sting a little bit. But you know what? He's not going to run out into the road and get killed. That's worse, right? So again, physical pain learns. It teaches us things. The second is emotional pain, right? And I use this especially on the very youngest and the very oldest, because when they're really young, you don't really want to spank them because, they're little. And then, of course, once kids get to a certain point, you don't want to spank them because, they weigh as much as you do, and it's awkward. When I was in a relationship with this woman once. This was before my wife. She wanted to go, and I was young, and she said, she had a male friend. Now, of course, this sounds absolutely fucking retarded to me now, My wife certainly has no male friends. So she had a male friend she wanted to go and hang out with, right? And once a week she would hang out with this male friend. And I was, as I said, I was young and I was stupid, and I hadn't learned a lot of lessons yet. You can probably know where this is going. Yeah, she was fucking him. All right. So yeah, that's where that went. And that of course caused me a lot of emotional pain. And never again in my life would I be stupid enough to be existing in that situation. Same way with kids. You can use emotional pain to hurt them and to punish them because you care about them. You would be surprised, like a young boy, if you just look him dead on and you say, I am very disappointed in you. I am not proud of you. I'm not proud at all of what you've done. And you just drop that on him. You hurt him. You hurt him there. Or, positive reinforcement when they do good. You say, yeah, you're my fucking, I'm very proud of you and stuff. Most parents, they just don't even know what the fuck's going on. But the problem is that, you got a lot of single mothers running around and fucking moms. They don't know how to raise kids. Trust me, I come home from work. My wife's home with the kids. The kids are running around like animals. She can't control this. She fucking. The kids get away with everything, and I come in, I start grabbing them by their ears and dragging them around, and I fucking have to put the whole house in order, lay down the damn law like frickin' Attila. And kids need that. Kids need that. They need that discipline, and they need to understand about consequences because that's the way the real world is. You don't show up for work, your boss will fucking fire you. You go out and drive your car while you're drunk, you're going to end up in jail. Or you're going to end up killing someone, you're going to end up in prison. That's the way the real world works, so you have to raise kids with a bit of brutal reality. But anyway, I really... I went off on the deep end on that one. I don't know. I need to make more videos on these things. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it there. This shit's already about a half hour long. I got to respond to a couple things at least. But thanks again for my patrons for supporting me. I'm planning on doing a community video. I'm gonna shoot for approximately once a month. That's about what I want to go for, is do one of these a month. So I'll announce the next one too, and so you can shoot me some more questions or whatever. Look for me on Hitbox. Oh, and before I forget, if you're not following me on Twitter or Facebook, you should. I mean, if you want to know what's going on with me, especially Twitter. I don't post so much stuff on Facebook, to be honest, but on Twitter I always post when I'm streaming and what's going on, and it's really sort of the best way to connect with me. I like Twitter for the purposes of doing quick updates. So if you are interested in catching me during a live stream, which is going to be very soon, you can follow me on Hitbox. I'll have a link below in the description, as well as my social media links and Patreon links as well. So just FYI, these things exist for a reason. I'm going to cut it at that, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.